Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Startup Boston 2023 from Suffolk University. My name is JDavis, and this is Radio Entrepreneurs. Glad to be here at Suffolk University and enjoying ourselves meeting all these entrepreneurs. And I brought to protect myself my co-host, Evan Macedo, CFO at Sapers and Wallack. Welcome back, Evan.
Thank you, Jeffrey. It's always a pleasure to be here. We talk to so many guests all the time, and I know we have another wonderful guest here in front of us.
Yes, well, you tried to have your own private interview first, but we're going to pull him in for us, and that's Justin Whitehead, CEO of Pebble Finance. Welcome, Justin.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, to pretend you haven't spoken to Evan already, what does Pebble Finance do? I know Pebbles from the cartoon The Flintstones, but I know we're not talking about the Flintstones.
So we are not talking about the Flintstones here, but Pebble does have a fun little creative story. So we are a fintech company. One of the largest financial companies in the world is a company called BlackRock. So if you go ahead and are buying ETFs off the market, there's a good chance that you're buying an iShares or BlackRock ETF. One of the early insights that we discovered with Pebble is that people had this desire to go ahead and express their own ideas into diversified investments. So it's kind of like investing in BlackRock, but everybody had an individual and unique idea. So what happens to a BlackRock when you smash it apart into a lot of teeny individual-looking pieces? You get pebbles. So that's where the name came from. But we are a financial technology company, born and bred here in the Boston area. From a few of us on the founding side that have had decades of experience here at the intersection of finance and technology. What we do is we are developing technology so that retail brokers, your Fidelities of the world, your Robinhoods, SoFis, so on and so forth, can create an elevated experience for their clients to make investing easier. You can go to any broker today and buy $1,000 of Apple if you want to buy $1,000 of Apple. You know, it's a specific stock, it's easily tradable on the market and all that. So that's super easy. But when you start talking to retail investors themselves, they don't naturally think in terms of stocks and sectors and market factors. It's almost like financial markets has this whole, unique language to itself. So our technology helps bridge the gap between how people naturally think and speak and how they interact and invest their money. So now people can come to your Fidelity account and say, I want to invest in EVs. And with those simple words, Pebble will go ahead and create for you your own personalized ETF and quietly keep it maintained in the back.
You must love this, Evan.
Oh, I got so many questions, Jeffrey.
All right. You
This is
get
gonna
to
hurt.
take over
It's
again.
gonna hurt.
So does your software uses artificial intelligence, which I think is going to be the future of investing. Does it take into consideration someone's age as they get older and maybe scale back some of their equities in their portfolio?
Are you taking a shot at me?
safer? Always, Jeffrey. Always.
All right. I just wanted to know if I should take that personal.
So it can where appropriate. So different brokers are going to have different capabilities, but most brokers understand a little bit about their actual end users. They know age.
That relates to risk.
Exactly. It ends up being risk-reward type of profile.
Right. He
Some
would
people
probably be more risky than I would be.
some are more risk-adverse, and some are
It's
YOLO.
the age factor.
Yeah, well, it is correlated to age, but you'll even see in younger generation investors there's a bimodal distribution. You have some people that are, I've got $100 and I'm just going to risk it all and try to turn it into $1,000 or $10,000. And then you have some people that will put in that same $100 and be super, super conservative with it. And it's a weird, it's a very interesting mix that you have, even at the younger
Different
generation.
psychographic, we say in marketing.
Okay, all right. There's a new SAT word for me to walk away with. But you asked about risk and reward and the risk profile. So the Pebble itself is effectively like a customized ETF, customized down to that individual. So when you think of risk and reward, you're usually trying to, you're basically taking correlation into account, right? If you have a bunch of companies all in the same sector or all in the same industry, it's highly correlated, and you're not really getting much diversification. So your fund will go up or down a bit more volatilely. Some pebbles on the system start off as a broad index market fund, but they have some expression applied. So I want to invest in the S&P 500, but I think Facebook is a dumpster fire type of deal. So kick it out type of deal. Great, you've got the S&P 499. Well, with 499 companies, you can actually apply some risk optimization to the 499. But if you were to say create a pebble around electric vehicles, you think EVs are the future, but you think Elon Musk is kind of crazy and spending all his time on Twitter or X or whatever we want to call it now. So you don't want Tesla to be part of your EV idea. Well, EVs itself is a very correlated pebble. So there isn't really much risk optimization you're going to be able to do within that little teeny container. But the whole idea is to allow people to continually express their ideas, and as they express more and more ideas, you'll end up owning more and more companies underneath the hood, and then you can risk optimize with that in mind. Does that answer?
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned about kicking out certain stocks. I know a lot of brokers try to stay away from stock picking because there's a lot of research that goes into that, and they just try to put their clients' money into already built models just to make it safer, and they can scale it. But say that there's a financial advisory office that doesn't do stock picking. Would your software allow them to kind of say somebody wanted to invest in certain transportation or social media companies? Could they start to do that?
Exactly. So you start, instead of thinking in terms of specific stocks, you start thinking in terms of themes. So EVs is a themes, or hey, generative AI is this new subset of AI, and I want exposure to generative AI. There are no generative AI ETFs or mutual funds that a traditional financial advisor could pull off the shelf and incorporate into the portfolio. They have to do some research. The whole financial advisory industry is a bit under pressure right now. Fees are coming down. They're having to spread themselves out a bit more, thinly, and all that type of stuff. So nobody has time to do that type of research. This is where AI comes in and can assist with that. Again, within a few seconds, you could say, I want to invest in generative AI, and our AI behind the scenes has been reading up on all the companies and what product offerings are coming out of them and all that type of stuff, and we'll assemble a cohort of companies that invest thematically around that. As an advisor, you still have the ability to, trim some things out or whatever, or make adjustments to it. But, the lion's share of that research has been done for you right then.
You read about AI and what it's going to do, let's say, to the white-collar industries. It would seem quite logical that within the next 5 years, the small investment firm should have as good or better the capability of a large investment firm.
There's a lot of talk in the industry about AI replacing jobs, and I don't think that's really not the right way to look at it. It's not going to replace the financial advisor industry as an example. However, there will be firms that adopt AI, and there will be firms that don't adopt AI. And the ones that do adopt AI into their practices, and again, AI is not a single solution to everything. It's a tool on the tool belt, and it's going to, help augment certain aspects of your practice. But what you'll find is ultimately the institutions that adopt AI and incorporate AI into their practices are going to ultimately trump out the ones that don't, type of deal, because they're going to be able to scale their financial advisors more so than someone that doesn't. 50% of an advisor's time today is spent preparing and handling client meetings. So they're preparing for your quarterly check-in, they're running reports, they're sitting down and having that conversation and all that type of stuff. You can increase the level of personalization and reduce the amount of time by incorporating AI into certain aspects of the business. And that's going to allow an advisor who was once serving, 100 clients, well, now they can serve 300 clients. And that's going to ultimately,
Well, that alone says that the scale will change.
It's going to change things. But it's all about who adopts versus who doesn't adopt. It's not really a function of, this is going to replace jobs outright.
And you're an entrepreneur. You have partners in this venture?
I do. So I founded Pebble with a guy named James. James and I worked together at another Boston area startup many years ago called Kensho. So Kensho is an AI fintech startup which was acquired by S&P back in 2018. So we were there. Both of us were there from the seed stage of the company, so fairly early on, and within 4 or 5 years, it was acquired by S&P. I ran engineering there. He ran the research side of the house, and prior to that, it was I had a long career in finance on the technology side. I've always been an engineer. Still today, I'm an engineer, and he's been on the research side. So he was an asset manager.
I can't believe we used up our time already. We're going to insist that you come back again and talk to us more about AI investment and what you're doing.
Of course, anytime.
And I want to remind everybody we're speaking with Justin Whitehead, CEO of Pebble Finance, with my great co-host, Evan Macedo, who brings a lot of knowledge to this area as well. My name is Jeffrey Davis. I'm CEO of Mage, LLC. This is Startup Boston at Suffolk University 2023 version. And I want to thank you for being on the show today, both of you, for showing up. Parking was the biggest challenge. And we are going to take a break. We'll be right back with more stories on Radio Entrepreneurs.